Good evening, and thank you for having me. I stand here as a very proud Gamilaroi and Dunghutti woman, and in that I want to pay my respects to the traditional owners, the Gadigal people whose land we meet on. I stand here as a collection of stories. So when I think about trying to tell one story for something like this, we could be here for a long time if I was trying to do just all of it. So I wanted to share with you today two stories in as short amount of time as possible that are the two stories that shaped me and who I am today. I'll start way back in 2008 when I was 12 years old. I grew up in a place called Cronulla, which is very famous for some race riots. So you can imagine what it was like growing up there as someone who lived in a household with an Aboriginal father and a white mother. For a long time, I didn't realise that was different to anyone around me, but by the time I got to high school, I had it thrown in my face and stopping my world in its tracks. I was 4 weeks into year 7, at a period in my life when, like I'm sure a lot of you were in as preteens, you just want to make friends. You just want to fit in, you want to be cool, and you want to get through life going unnoticed for the most part. 4 weeks in, just after Kevin Rudd had made the sorry speech in Parliament, so talking about Aboriginal issues was something that was coming up, but it wasn't something that I was asked about just yet. Maybe because it was how I looked, maybe because the kids around me didn't really care about it. Then one day, I made a new best friend for the day. I was walking out of science class and I heard someone, what I thought was call my name, but they'd actually called someone else's. And thankfully, it caused a moment for me to have to talk to someone and introduce myself, and we became best friends for that day. At the end of the day, we had mass together, me and my new best friend. And as the bell went at 3 o'clock, a big summer storm opened in the sky and rain started pouring down. High school students always go mad when it rains for some reason. And we were all very excited because of the rain, and where my mass block was at my high school, it was connected to this driveway that led down to the back gate where all the parents would pull in and pick you up as you were heading home. So me and my best friend sprinted down the driveway, getting rained on, laughing, giggling, and just as I was about to say, add me on MySpace, have a good weekend, I heard someone call my name. And I stopped, and I looked up, and standing at the gates was a man. He had a massive umbrella, bright blue colours, and he was in his pyjamas. It was my father, and I was mortified. For context, he's a police officer, so he had been on shift work, and that's why he was sleeping and had pyjamas on at 3 p.m. And I just wanted to die right there. I hoped he would see the death in my eyes. Please don't say my name again. But unfortunately he didn't, or he ignored it, and he called out to me again. So I avoided eye contact, raced to the car, tried to make it look like I didn't know him at all, got in and barely spoke to him over the weekend because I was so filthy what he was done. Unfortunately though, I got to school on Monday, and by the time I got to second period with my best friend from the week before, she turned around to me and asked the dreaded question. Who was that picked you up from school on Friday? And I thought, oh no, this is it. I'm going to be outed as a loser. And when I told her it was my dad, that wasn't the response I got. Instead, she kind of turned her head and said, is he your real dad or your stepdad? And I said, well, I think he's my real dad. No one's ever told me otherwise. And then she said the defining question of my life. Why is your dad black? Never in my life had I heard anyone be called a colour. I grew up in a bubble. A pretty nice one, I think, to that point. One where I really didn't see people who were from different cultures and different races as so different from me that I couldn't connect to them. Instead, I thought our differences brought us together. And the domino effect from that, after I told her that I was Aboriginal, and she responded to me, oh wow, I've never met an Aboriginal person. It was like I was outed to the rest of the school. It turned out I was the only Aboriginal student there at the time. And when my sister got there the year after, we would be the only two identifying Aboriginal students at our high school for the majority of the time we were there. And that was pretty hard. Because you're not just the Aboriginal kid, you're the Aboriginal spokesperson for your entire race and culture, an entire culture that's existed for over 65,000 years. We didn't have all the answers, but I had teachers ask me questions in class and expect me to know the answer. I had everyone turn to me anytime that something to do with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people was mentioned, looking for a reaction. And at one point, I had a teacher make a racist joke in class. And while my peers laughed along, they laughed at me too. These stories are who I am, though. They made me have thick skin. They made me choose something very early on. I came to a fork in the road. Because of how I look, I could have gone through high school passing. I could have just been another girl in the classroom. But I couldn't do that. Because of my family's history, because of how hard we've fought, because of where we've gotten to and how far we've got to go, I knew instinctively that I wouldn't be that passing student. I would be the loudest and proudest example of an Aboriginal person. So that's what I did. I was loud and proud, and a lot of the time I was pretty angry. I got into a lot of arguments. I yelled at teachers. This kid who was the biggest goody-goody ever got up and stormed out of class because I had to make a stand. And it was other stories that my dad started telling me that kept me going. It was the stories of his grandmother, Violet Held French, who raised 11 kids in little more than a tin humpy on a dried up riverbed in Moree, at a time when they weren't counted as citizens, when they were discriminated against, when they needed emergency medical attention and an ambulance wouldn't come onto the mission. This staunch, incredible woman raised all these children and a lot of other people's children too, with the power of a single simple motto that she passed on to my grandmother and my father. And that simple motto was, try not to give up. Simple as that. Try not to give up. But what you can't hear in those words if you didn't know her is the power, is the weight of them, is the fact that she instilled them so much into my grandmother that she was able to turn up to school every day, even though she was spat on. She was able to graduate as one of the first Aboriginal women to get a Bachelor of Social Work at the University of Sydney. And she was able to give birth to my father with Try Not to Give Up, running through his veins. These stories are who I am. And they are what inspired me to start something that I thought would be no more than an Instagram page. Something called Tiddas for Tiddas. So tidda is a slang word we use for sister. And I thought the power of the stories that I had that raised me and made me a strong, resilient person can have power for other people. I knew all these stories of amazing Aboriginal women around me, but I wasn't seeing them anywhere. So I woke up one day, told my sister we were doing something and she'd have to do it because she's the younger sister, and started an Instagram page almost 12 months ago to the day. And to my pleasant surprise, it seems that 17.2 thousand people agree with me that the stories are pretty good, that they need to be everywhere. And now I have a podcast that is able to project those stories even broader. And I'm very happy to announce that I've just signed my first book deal. So to me, while we talk about storytelling, it talks about my entire being. It talks about all of our power in our ability to make change through storytelling. And that's what I'll leave you with. Thank you.